Hey there, hey, and thank you for tuning in to this Thursday edition of Born to Be a Star. Today's another day and another opportunity for you to recognize your star power. One day left till we get to the weekend. Hopefully everybody has a great weekend planned. I will be celebrating Cammie's birthday on Saturday with her. So grateful to have an amazing niece and so grateful to have a weekend. It feels like the weekend does go by too fast. So as happy as I am that it is Thursday, I don't know how happy I am about the weekend because in the blink of an eye, it's over. There's Saturday and then Sunday is church and the gym and then it's back to it and you're doing it all over again. So I don't know. In order for us to have a great life, we have to be able to start the day by looking in the mirror, reflecting on where we've been and where we're going, and loving the reflection that we see. And in some ways that might be difficult. It's not always easy to look in the mirror and love the reflection that you see. Mainly because I think that a lot of us picked up traits of not loving ourselves, like really loving yourself. I'll admit, I've probably picked up some of those traits. I'm kind of a negative Nelly and I worry way too much and I don't know how. I've allowed anxiety to cloud my judgment and tell me what I can't do when I know I can do everything. We all have those days where we just feel like, where we just feel like, I don't know how I'm going to get through this. But that's okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. We should be starting off our day by looking in the mirror and telling ourselves, yes, we can have a great day. Yes, we can start something new. Yes, we can try something different. Yes, we can be better than we were yesterday. Yes, we can get in an RV and travel the United States of America, or take the time to get a gun license and go, shoot like trees or something, and maybe go to a shooting range. Maybe that would be fun for some people. Maybe someone wants to learn how to knit or sew or paint, or you want to learn a new language. Maybe you want to get into instruments and you want to learn how to play the saxophone or the cello or the trombone or the organ or the piano or the violin or the flute or the recorder. Or maybe you want to learn how to sing. Maybe you want to join a choir. Maybe you want to move. You're sick of your apartment and you're finally ready for a house. Whatever the case may be, whether it's moving or getting a new car or learning how to paint with a watercolor instead of a marker, like you're finally ready to get a paintbrush and you're tired of just thinking about it and you want to actually paint. Whatever the case may be, painting or not, it should be easy for us to say to ourselves, yes, we can. Following the idea of yes, we can is the idea of never giving up. And never giving up is persevering through difficulty. And yesterday, Donald Trump gave a speech at a graduation at Alabama State, I think. And he said the same thing that I say every day. Now, I'm not bringing Trump up to talk about politics.
Yes, you are.
On Born to Be a Star. I'm bringing it up because every day I start my podcast off with a mantra of 3 things. Yes, you can, never give up, and why not today? And I say it every day, like robotically. You have to fight and you have to persevere through the difficulty and the bad experiences to get to the good. You have to face things head on and you have to navigate through the wilderness and sometimes even the darkness to get back to that light. And sometimes in many ways you are that light. So I'm not going to lie to you. Bad things happen to good people. Life sometimes really fucking sucks. It just sucks. The doctor didn't give you the advice you wanted to hear. They did something they weren't supposed to do. That major you picked sucks. That roommate you decided to have is not great. Or that, I don't know, car you decided to get didn't end up the way you wanted it to be.
You know what I'm hearing a lot of, though? Is a lot of I selected And then no accountability.
We're talking about never giving up.
Yeah.
The idea of never giving up is fighting through difficulty to find a way to see the light in the darkness, because life has a tendency of putting you in a position where you might not want to get through something that's not easy.
Shower time.
And that's okay. So never giving up is sometimes difficult. Dude, when somebody you love is sick, or even when you're sick, and like you're really at this point where the worst thing imaginable is occurring, it might be difficult to see some sort of light in that kind of a darkness. Or it might be difficult when the entire world is falling on your shoulders. You haven't had a good experience. Your job sucks. Your life sucks. Everybody else is doing something and you're not at that point yet. But what does that mean? All your friends have kids and you don't have one. What does that mean? People are going on all these vacations and doing all these things. Doesn't mean you can't have a good life. Doesn't mean you can't go on your own vacation. Doesn't mean you can't have kids on your own time. Doesn't mean you won't get these things. Maybe it's just going to be different. Maybe that roommate you thought was great isn't. And maybe that bad situation, maybe that cancer, maybe that chemo, maybe there's going to be a different outcome from that. We cannot give up. To the new class of 2025 getting ready to embark on their lives as young men and young women in the world, but especially in the United States of America, congratulations on putting the effort and the time and the due diligence into your education. Congratulations on focusing on something that does mean something. And I know I insult colleges and I say a bunch of things and I ask a lot of questions because that's the journalist that lives in me. But it is an amazing, beautiful, glorious time when you get to stand and hear your name called and throw your hat in the air with your friends surrounding you and you get to graduate. There's nothing that feels like that. It's almost as important to standing next to the person you're going to marry or pushing out your first child. That's what graduating feels like. When they call your name and you walk on that stage and they give you that degree that you busted your ass to get, all that effort and time and dedication that you put forward for that. And it's not just a piece of paper. It means something far more than that. So congratulations to the 2025 class that is graduating. I wish you nothing but the best of luck. May you reach for the stars and persevere beyond belief. May you see your light in the darkness. May you recognize your light in the darkness and recognize how important that you are. The world has a tendency to try to replicate its darkness and consume all of us in it. And we have to have a tendency to ignore it. This is the beginning of your story. The beginning. The book is empty and you are going to write down what you want it to be. I'm going to give you some advice here. So instead of me sipping the tea, I'm going to give you the tea here right now on this part of the podcast. And maybe I'll extend it into sipping the tea at a second point. The time is now for you to dictate where you want your future to go. I'm telling you this from someone that's had a very different experience. Not a bad experience, but not the greatest experience. I constantly had to hear my parents tell me what they wanted me to do when I was younger, especially when I was, very young. You shouldn't do this because this. You shouldn't do that because this. Blah, 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 blah. Not taking into consideration what I actually cared about. I really never had time to actually figure out what I cared about. And in some ways, it's kind of sad. But I don't let that stop me from recognizing my light because I had people surrounding me telling me some bogus bullshit. And I gotta tell you, as young people, you can love your parents and your family members, but they shouldn't be telling you what to do. They should be guiding you on your own path that's yours, that you dictate, not them. That's the role of the parent, not to live through you, but to allow you to live your own life. I'm not saying that because I have bad parents. I'm saying that because maybe my parents didn't allow me to really be who I was, to provide a foundation, to allow me to chase my dreams the way I wanted to. And I'm going to move into this at a different path. But following the idea of never giving up, fighting for what you believe in, for the doctors and the nurses and the firefighters and the EMTs and the Army, the Reserve, the National Guard, the Air Force, the Navy, and the SEALs. That's something important. So following the never giving up is the why not today. Because putting off today for tomorrow is idiotic. Pretending you can buy time is not smart. And acting like you have a remote that does not exist is not going to get you from A to Z in 5 seconds. It's just not. An awareness is that if the dishwasher doesn't work, you know that after 5 minutes, and you should get it fixed. Why are we spending all this time navigating recklessly through our lives, not getting the dishwasher fixed? I mean, I've said it before. Would it really take you 4 weeks to get a dishwasher fixed if you know in 5 minutes it does not work? Dude, it takes you 5 minutes to get on the phone with the super of the building you look in, or to look up the fucking warranty on the dishwasher that's in the second drawer to the left in the drawers in the kitchen on the island or next to the stove. It's in one of those two places, right? You go in the basement and you recognize the washing machine doesn't work. Are you going to stare at a broken washing machine, or are you going to get it fixed? You notice some weird marking on a wall in your bedroom, the kids' room, the pantry, the hall closet, the bathroom, the dining room, the playroom, the garage, the basement. So this is your house. Are you going to stare at some weird stuff on the wall, or are you going to, get ready for it? Take a picture of it. Fix it. Go to Home Depot, True Value, or Lowe's and find a paint that looks similar to it and paint over it. I mean, what are we waiting for? Why do we continue to put off today for tomorrow, like aliens or some sort of higher being isn't going to completely consume this entire humanity because it's idiotic and it makes very stupid decisions? We can't buy time. Our money doesn't afford us that. And you can have all the money in the world, but if your heart stops, that doesn't matter. That money's just going to be there and you're going to be dead. You cannot buy tomorrow. So if you have time, don't waste it. Organize. Live efficiently. Live correctly. Be smart. There's only one way. Understanding that time is always moving. And in that, so are we. Why not today is understanding we don't put off today for tomorrow. We face tomorrow head on, 5 to 10 steps ahead, prepared and ready for whatever comes our way. So moving on from the mantra, let us get into the next stage of the conversation, which is sipping the tea, sipping the tea, sipping the tea for you and me, sipping the tea. And it's going to be some sweet tea today because I want to send a message to the world. I'm going to talk about 2 topics, as I always do on Sipping the Tea. The first topic is congratulating the class of 2025. And the second part of the conversation is choosing your destination. So, the class of 2025 has had a very unique experience, starting school in 2021 in the chaos of COVID. That was a point where we were kind of moving past the initial stages of it, but it was still there. It was this weird middle ground where they were requiring you to have like a mask on and proof of a vaccination, where they were still talking about that crap. Little did we know they were all lying to us, whatever. They've been through a lot, but they have fought and persevered through a lot to get them to this moment in this time of graduating in 2025. And I would just like to commend them. I would just like to say congratulations for all your hard work and dedication. People that go to college, that graduate with bachelor's degrees or a master's, are devoting themselves to something far beyond themselves. They understand what sacrifice is. They understand what dedication is. And they understand what on time means. You have constant testing, constant time constraints, and you have this crazy ability to juggle sleep and time and school all at the same time. And in some ways, it's difficult. And it could also be hard. You're going from high school directly to college, and you have no idea what the fuck you're doing. You don't really know about relationships, or, you have some insight to friends, but do you really know about friends? Maybe a little bit, but not all that much. You might know how to cook, or you might not. You might know how to actually do your laundry, or you might be learning. It's a juggle. But it's a beautiful thing. And I don't think anyone has really taken the time to understand how difficult it must have been going to school, feeling like you weren't being heard. Now, I remember getting my bachelor's degree and the excitement I had trying to figure out what I was going to do. And it took me a very long time to figure out that clearly I needed to be in an environment where I was helping people problem solve and fix something that wasn't going correctly, or that at some point I'd be talking and trying to make the world a better place. And here I am doing that. But congratulations to the men and women, the boys and the girls that focused and prepared for their exams and did their papers, right? These 8-page papers before you graduate that are a pain in the ass, that showed up to the 8 o'clock Friday classes that you had to take because the professor was teaching it at that semester only on that day, and it was a requirement for you to graduate, right? Congratulations to the boys and the girls that fought through hatred and decay on college campuses, attacking them in every way and every regard. They're still doing fucking protests on Columbia and a bunch of other prestigious universities. But for those that didn't let that stop them from what they were supposed to do, congratulations. You have your entire life ahead of you. And college is a big part of that. It gives you this better understanding, unlike anything else. And now I've had very intriguing conversations about education, questioning the importance of the education. because we should in some ways, with the gargantuan amount of money it costs. But in other ways, I think that kids should go to college. That's the place you find yourself. You recognize what ice cream you really like. You get to try something different in your salad. You get to pick out what pizza you want when you're going to eat with your friends in the mess hall. Do you really like waking up that early for work? Do you really want to be in a corporate environment because you're doing this work study thing on campus, not because you have to, but because you want to, and you don't really know how much you like libraries? Or maybe now you know you might want to be a secretary. You might want to do these things. But your greatest experiences happen those 4 years that you spend on that campus learning about yourself. And I'm so proud of all of you. And I hope that one day when I have kids, that they will feel that proudness, that they will feel that freedom of sitting in that chair or standing in line beside your friends with the hat on your head. And the moment you all rise together after they called all your names and throwing it into the air and watching the balloons fall down. It's the greatest experience in the world. The pictures, the smiling, the glows, the happiness. There is nothing like it. And I'm so proud. I'm so proud of all of you for what you've done and what you've accomplished. And you should be very proud. Very proud. Even maybe a little narcissistic and stuck in your own ways. And in some ways, you should be humbled by what you've accomplished. But in other ways, you should be resiliently proud of yourself. The next stage of this is very easy. You want to work smarter, not harder. And you want to be able to find something that you actually like to do. So you don't spend the rest of your early 20s and 30s miserable, unhappy, and feeling unlucky. This is your time to decide what future you want. People are going to come in your life for a reason or a season, and you have to make the decision to accept it or just continue to move. That decision is solely up to you. So congratulations to all those graduates from all the universities around the world, but especially America. May the force be with you on your next voyage to what you're doing next on your stardom journey. The next part of the conversation is you get to dictate your future. So like I was saying earlier on the mantra, it's not that I had bad parents. It's that I had parents that didn't want me to experience things the way that you naturally should. Probably because they wanted to protect me or they didn't want me to navigate down a certain road. And in the end, everything happens the way it's supposed to anyways. The only way you're going to learn, really learn, is by experiencing. And the only way you're going to experience is by living. So the idea that the society and parents and structure and the corporate setting wants to give you a formula that only suits itself. Work till you die. Sacrifice this. Don't do that. Wait till you're old to travel. Wait to this. Wait to that. Why? We need to be thinking outside of the box here. Shouldn't we be? Your future, your tomorrow, your everyday after is dependent on your ability to be aware of what's happening around you. Life is only what you make it, so make it good. Yeah, some days are better than others, but we cannot get caught in this weird situation where we deny ourselves what actually makes us happy. So be strong. Boys and girls of the world, recognize your star power and dictate your tomorrow. Because if you don't do that, then someone else will want to do it for you. And this isn't about your parents. It's not about your family. It's about you. It's not about anybody you're with, your better half, your best friend, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, your wife. It's not about any of that. It's about you. Your future is reliant on you deciding what you want to do, because you don't want to be miserable and stuck. That shit sucks, and nobody wants to experience that. Just saying. That's the tea. Congratulations to class of 2025, and let's learn to dictate our own futures. Starting now, starting today. Let's do it. Moving on from the tea, let's get to the next part of this conversation. So comfort is the goal. It should be the goal. We should be looking for ways to live easier lives that are less stressful. We probably want a remote setting for employment, and we want a work-life balance because we don't want to work till we fucking die. The idea of that's pathetic and just sad, frankly. Planning is definitely important, so you definitely want to organize your life so you can plan correctly. Don't we want to live longer? If you're planning to live longer, then you really need to be more aware of what's in your portfolio and what you actually want to do and accomplish. This is why you cannot work till you die, and you have to have a serious plan for retirement. Be careful signing contracts. Now, the gym has been trying to egg me on to sign another contract with Leah, my trainer, but I'm not doing it because I'm just not. But be careful signing contracts. It's not the best situation. And when you sign the contract, you're stuck on it. So you really need to read what you're signing. You need to really be fully aware of what you're doing before you sign something like a contract, because you don't want to be stuck in it. Why direct to consumer continues to win? You know why direct to consumer continues to win? Because everyone wants things delivered to their door, and not a lot of people are loving retail. Like, I went into a store earlier today, or I've been in a store within the last week, and every time I go into one of these places, either the grocery store or any type of other retail environment, I'm left feeling like, why am I in here? I almost prefer ordering things and getting them delivered instead of going in a store. First of all, parking the car and going in there is just a pain in the ass. And then dealing with the incompetent people that are in there that don't talk to you but talk to each other, that's not fun either. So I think direct to consumer is very usable because, one, I can order whatever I want and get it delivered. And two, it's coming directly to me, so I don't have to go anywhere to get it. There's that. There has to be an easier way to do things that don't involve us getting in these environments that drive us nuts. I do think, unfortunately for retail, though, Amazon is continuing to win, and these retail chains are continuing to close. It's not working. Amazon is seriously the Death Star, and I continue to do different podcasts where I point that out. They have Cyber Monday. They've created an environment where you don't need to go to Black Friday. You can just order everything on fucking Amazon, and they have like a 50% off sale. And if you have an Amazon Prime membership, you basically get everything off at like a 75% discount. Everything that is on Amazon will be delivered to you in 1 to 2 business days. If you order it before 6 o'clock on the Amazon app, it'll come to you to the next day with no delivery fee. Why would you ever go to a store again? If you know what size you wear and you know what you like, what do you need to go to the store for? You don't. This is the problem that retail is going to have moving forward. Do you understand they closed Forever 21 down? All these retail chains, They're ghost. They're going away. They're not coming back. There is not a target audience and there's not a shopper, right? They don't have a consumer for it anymore. Unfortunately, the days of shopping in person are gone and they are not coming back. Moving on from Amazon winning, let's get to the next part of this conversation, which is watching things. Fist Fight 2073. Doesn't that sound great? Y2K. I haven't seen that. Bored to Death. That's basically me all the time when I'm talking to people that are like, ugh. The RKA. I don't know what that is, but I saw it on Amazon. Willing to try. The last season of White Lotus. I haven't watched it, but should I? I don't know. A lot of people have been saying a lot of things about it, and I'm like skeptical. Like, do I really want to look at this? Maybe. Question mark. I don't know. Do we think Penguin is going to get another season 2? Skip says no because he thinks the story's over because it's based off the Batman series. So I'll see what happens, but I was hoping it would get a season 2. But I guess after what happened at the end of the first season, I don't know how we would have a season 2, but I'd like one. Where is Mayor of Easttown? He doesn't think that's coming back either, but I wish it would. So far, I've been loving the neighbor next door on Apple. Very good. I've also been loving that other Apple show. Very good. There's also that NBC show. What's that NBC show called? Hunting Parties. Very good too. There's a lot of great things to watch. Let's move on to eating from watching. So today I had blackened chicken for lunch. It was okay. Fire. Vegan spicy peanut noodles because you know I'm still trying to be vegan although I'm failing. When food delivery doesn't get delivered, then you need to request your money back and then put negative reviews for what went bad. We need to be drinking 120 ounces of water a day and maybe even more than that to truly flush out our systems and have the water intake that we need for our bodies. Protein ranch dip. Now, I know you're wondering, what? Yes, something that we all need to be trying. I don't know. It sounds decent. I don't know. I didn't really look at a recipe for it. I saw a brief video for it when I was looking at Pinterest, my daily Pinterest view, and it looked okay. I don't know how much ranch I'd like, but I'm willing to try it. I'm not going to knock it. I'll try it. And finally, cottage cheese is definitely a great snack to have if you want to be a little lighter on the dairy and you want a little crunch. I think you like it. Moving on. Thank you for tuning in to this Thursday edition of Born to Be a Star. Don't forget that you are a star wherever you are. And I'll see you same place, same time tomorrow on Friday. Stars in the darkness, we are the light. We are the beginning, the middle, and the end, omnipresent, just like Jesus Christ. We've been here before, seen everything before, and we'll do everything again. We are the one thing that defeats the darkness because we are the light. We've got America to save and the rest of the world too. Canada can kick rocks. They just made the dumbest decision to elect another stupid-ass Democrat into the prime minister position, and I don't want to hear anything they're saying. I don't care, and you shouldn't care either if you're an American. Like I said yesterday and last week and even last year, Canada is comparable to the Fez, and nobody wants it. It's just an ugly hat that nobody wants to wear, and we all know it. And you can love the people of Canada and hate the government and call them the ugly Fez that they are. And that's what I do every day, and I don't feel bad about it. America doesn't need Canada. In fact, America doesn't need a lot of things, and a lot of places either. We are the queen of the world, and the world knows it. And the more the world recognizes the real power, the better off we will all be. I'm not saying everybody's not great because everybody is. I'm saying when it comes to it, America is rising. And the world needs to recognize that. That's not a party. That's not a pundit. It's reality. And like I just said, Canada can kick rocks. We don't care anymore. You're yesterday's news and last week's joke. You're a pundit, bro. You're a meme. And everybody just makes fun of you because you're pathetic. 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 But anyways, stars, have an amazing Thursday, and I'll see you tomorrow on Friday. Hello, goodbye, good morning, good night, and ciao. See you tomorrow. Bye.